Hey everyone, Nitesh this side. Hope you are doing well. So let's start with the question. So the question is majority element. So you have given an array nums of size n and you have to return the majority element. So what is majority element? So majority element is the element that appear more than n by 2 times, and you may assume that the majority element always exists in the array. So in the question it's pretty clear, like the majority element will always be exist. So let's see with an example. Let's take this example. So as you can see, the length of this array is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. So what we need to do, we need to count the element, and whoever has the majority element, like majority element should be greater than your length divided by 2. Okay, so let's count for this. So let's see how many twos are there. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so for 2 I have 4 frequency. Let's count for 1, 1, 2, 3. So for 1 I have 3. So if I calculate the if I can see the majority element is this, and let me confirm whether it is greater than my length divided by 2. So my length is 7, so 7 divided by 2, and it is giving, I need to give the floor value, so it will give me 7, 3, and you can easily see 4 is greater than 3, so we need to return this majority element. Okay, so let's take one more example. Let's see 2, 2, 2, 3, 1. Okay, so if you can see the frequency of 1, it is 1. For 2 we have frequency of 3. For 3 we have frequency of 1. So we get the majority elements as 2, and we can easily see it is greater than 5 divided by 2. So this is our majority element. Okay, let's see how we can approach this question. Okay, so what I can easily think, like the name approach is basically create a map. Let's take a map, like we'll insert all the map value in all the array value in this map and increase their frequency. So for this, if we create the map, so for 2 the frequency will be 4, and for 1 the frequency will be 3, and I will just compare whoever has the greater than value, then my it will not be equal. So greater than length divided by 2, I will return that key. Okay, in this case this will be the 2. Okay, but if you see the space complexity for this is basically big O of n, but in the question it clearly mentioned can we do it in big O of 1. So let's see how we can use some different approach to get a complexity of big O of 1. Okay, so if you clearly see the example, like the majority element is always greater than rest of element. So if we can see in this case, like 2 is the majority element and it is having a frequency of 4, and the rest of element has having a frequency of 3, so it is always greater than. Okay, if I take another example, let's say 2, 1, 2, 3, 2. So you can easily see the 2 have the frequency of 3 and the rest of element have only 2. So it is clearly clear, like the majority element is always greater than the rest of element. So let's see how we can take this approach and make use of this. So what we will do, we will take one majority element and one counter variable. Okay, so this will, like I am using a voting algorithm, so it will be more clear to you if I show you with an example. So what I will do, I will take this element and take it as a majority element and take my count as 1. Okay, so whenever I got my count as 0, so I will update my majority element. Okay, so let's see, we will encounter further, so we will move further. So we can easily see this 2 is equal to this 2. So what we will do, we will take the majority element as same. So whenever the element is matching, we will, so if element is matching, we will increase our counter, else we will decrease our counter. Okay, and if our counter is equal to 0, we will update our majority element. Okay, so what we will do, at this time we see the element is same to my majority element, so I will increase my counter and it will become 2. I will move further. Now I can see this is 1, so 1 is not equal to 2, so what I will do, I will decrease my counter and I will check whether it is 0. If it is 0, I need to update my majority element. I will move further. I will come here and I can easily see 2 is not equal to 1, so I will make my counter as 0. Okay, so whenever my counter is 0, I need to update my majority element. So now my majority element is become 1. Okay, so if we move further, so now you can see 1 is equal to 1, so our counter will increase by 1. So if our array is of this size, you can easily see we are getting the majority element, this one. Okay, so let's move further. We will move here. Now at this point 2, so 2 is not equal to 1, so what we will do, we will decrease our counter by 1, it will become 0, and we will update our majority element because this now is 0, counter is 0, so this will become 2. So now if our array size is this, so as you can see we have 2 3s and 1 3, so we can get any majority element, so that's why we are getting 2. So now we'll move further. We can easily see 2 is equal to 2, so we will increase our counter by 1 and our majority element 2 is always 2, so we will just return this. Okay, so let's take one more example. So let's take two variable majority. So this time we'll do faster and counter. Okay, so we'll take this as a majority element and we'll make a counter as 1. We again say this is matching with our majority element, so we will increase our counter. We again see this is matching with our majority element, so this become 3. Now what we can see, 1 is not equal to 2, so we will update our counter and will become 2. Similarly, we'll go move further and we see 1 is not equal to 2, so we will update our counter and it will become 1, and we will just return our majority element as 2. Okay, so the time complexity for this is just an order of n because we just doing the iteration of our array, and for space it is only order of 1 because we are not taking any extra space. Okay, so let's write code for this. Okay, so what we need, a majority element, so let's take a majority as 0 and let's take a counter variable also as 0. Okay, so we will iterate over a array nums. What we need to check is if our counter is equal to 0, then we do something, else we do something. Okay, so if our counter is 0, what we need to do, we need to update our majority by x and counter become 1. Else what we need to do, we need to check whether this majority element is equal to, so if our majority is equal to our current element, we will just increase our counter, else we will decrement it. Okay, and after that we just return our majority element. Okay, so let's run the code. So this is accepted, let's submit it. So this is also submitted. Hope you like my video. Thank you for watching this.